2 weeks later.
Hi guys, welcome back to another Bachelorette recap. Can you believe ABC did this to us again? For the second time this season, we had to go 2 whole weeks without an episode. And I don't know about you, but I was really feeling it. I was depressed. I may have shed a tear. I don't really want to admit whether or not I actually did, but it was a struggle waiting a whole 14 days for another episode. But the one that we got last night was so worth the wait. Everything that I wanted to happen, that I believed would happen, that I hoped would happen, happened. So let's get right into this recap for episode 7. So in this episode, Rachel ends up going out on 3 one-on-one dates, the most that we've ever seen in any episode. And the first one is with Brian. So Rachel and Brian, they get into a very nice looking Bentley. They drive around a little bit. Then they stop off at a watch store. And of course, Switzerland is famous for a lot of very fancy, expensive, gorgeous watches. So they go into the store, they look around, and Rachel, I think she's the one that picks out a watch for him. And they're sitting there talking, and then the next thing Rachel says is, I'll take that. I'll take this one and he'll have this one. And Brian turns to Rachel and says, really? No, you're kidding me. You're gonna buy me this watch? And she said, yeah, I'm gonna get myself one and I'm gonna get you one too. And then they embrace and kiss, and he just can't believe that she would do that for him.
I'm getting this for you.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding.
You're kidding me right now.
No, I swear, I'm not. We're gonna take these. I'll take this one. He'll take that one.
Okay. Are you serious right now?
I'm not playing.
Come on, Brian, you know damn well that's not Rachel Lindsay's money that paid for that watch. That's ABC's money, so relax. So they go on a little boat ride, do a whole lot more kissing on the boat. Now they go to what looks like a very gorgeous theater to sit down and have some dinner. So of course, now is the time. We're finally down to the last 6 guys, so it's time to get into the deep conversation, right? And so they do. So they talk about their past relationships, how they grew up. Rachel, of course, is still very nervous about whether or not Brian's family is going to accept her as a Black woman. But the part that really stuck out to me, and I actually physically clutched my invisible pearls when I was watching the episode, because he was talking to her about his last relationship and how hot and heavy it was, and then they had a wedding in Colombia.
You know, it was a situation where we had a wedding in Colombia, wedding in Colombia, wedding in Colombia.
Isn't that what he said? We had a wedding in Colombia. Those were the words that he used. So for a split second, I thought, damn, Brian's been married before and he's just now telling Rachel this. But no, I guess it must have been a family member or family friend, somebody very close to the family that is most likely of Colombian descent, like Brian, got married, and him and the ex went to Colombia to attend someone else's wedding. So after that experience, that's when Brian said that he and his ex ended up ending the relationship, mainly because she couldn't meet his mom halfway. I'm not really too sure what that was all about. Why does his girlfriend need to meet his mother halfway? I understand couples meeting each other halfway when there are disagreements and issues, but I really wonder what that was all about. I am so intrigued to see what kind of interaction now Rachel will have with Brian, because at the end of the dinner, he does receive a rose, so he is now one of the final 4 guys that she will be going to his hometown of Miami to meet his family. So I'm gonna keep an eye on Brian's mom, because I really wanna know what that whole thing that went down with his ex was really all about, and what kind of personality and temperament his mom has, and how that's gonna play out in his relationship with Rachel. So then we move on to the second one-on-one date, and it is with Dean, another one of my top picks. And was it just me, or was Dean's pants a little bit too short? When he was walking down that road to meet Rachel, those pants looked a little short to me, but I digress. So they end up actually going to a church, which I thought was really nice. And it's a Catholic church, so they went for Sunday Mass that was given all in French, so neither one of them understood anything. But you did hear Rachel talk a little bit about her faith and how important her faith is to her, and how important it is for the guy in her life to respect that and understand how important it is. So after Mass, they go and they have a little sit down snack, I guess, of some sort. And Dean proceeds to say some of the most ridiculous shit ever.
Do you believe in the Tooth Fairy?
Okay.
What's your favorite dinosaur?
Dean.
But I know that that's not all Dean's fault. I'm sure the producers did a whole lot of editing and splicing scenes together to make it look like he was talking a whole lot of foolishness. And I actually read a couple of comments here and there that he did say that the conversation didn't come off exactly like that. The producers did a lot of fancy editing to make it look as weird and awkward as it did. So then, of course, they go to dinner, and here is where Dean really lays it out on the line for Rachel about how nervous he is to bring him home to his family. He is really having a hard time kind of embracing being in the Final Four because he knows that it's about meeting the family, and he's a little bit maybe embarrassed that things ended up the way they did after his mom passed away when he was 15. And he even said to Rachel, I wish you could have met my family that I had from 0 to 15 instead of the one that I got after my mom died and everything fell apart. So my heart really went out to Dean for putting everything out there, all of his concerns to Rachel. And of course, she tells him not to worry about it. She's not looking to meet a perfect family. She just wants to get to know where he came from. So at the end of the date, he of course gets a rose and a secured spot for one of the hometown dates next week. Then we see the third and final one-on-one date for the episode, and it is with Peter. My number one pick for Rachel. He always has been from day one. I love Peter. So Rachel meets him at this field where there's a helicopter waiting for them to get into and take off. And you see all of these gorgeous aerial shots of Geneva, Switzerland, which is where they are. Oh, I forgot to mention that. Then after that, they end up getting on a dog sled in the middle of the Swiss Alps and riding around with these dogs on a sled, having the time of their lives, laughing, joking. It looked like so much fun, and I truly believe that they had a blast. Probably one of the best times that she's had with anyone on any date. So then they're having a little sit down moment where they talk, and this is the point where everything kind of solidifies for me as Peter being a really great pick for Rachel. He goes on to talk about the fact that he really thought about leaving at one point because his emotions were just getting the better of him, and he was giving into his insecurities and getting caught up in whatever else was going on around him with the other guys. And he admitted to Rachel that at one point he almost left, and she appreciated him letting her know that. And of course she said that she was happy that he didn't, and the rest of the world is very happy too, Peter, because you know that we all love you. Now they go off to have their dinner, and at this point Peter gets into the family talk, and this family talk was the cutest one of them all that she's ever had with any of the guys. Peter actually tells Rachel his parents' names. This dude ain't playing. He said, my dad's name is Gary, my mom's name is Lynn. Out of the two of them, my mother will be the most talkative. He told Rachel their names. He hasn't even gotten his rose yet, and he's telling this woman his parents' names and what to expect when she does meet them. I just thought that that was so perfect. Another thing Peter does mention to Rachel is that he admits he's never dated a black woman before, but unlike a couple of the other guys who have mentioned their preferences in the past or their experiences of what type of people they've dated in the past, he did not make it seem like it was anything really important or significant. It was just something he felt he needed to let her know, and the conversation moved on quickly after that. Now here's the part we all saw a couple of weeks ago when they put out the teaser, and you heard Peter talking about making someone cry. And everyone, of course, thought it was Rachel. He did something, he said something that made her cry. Absolutely not, of course. Producers and their editing skills at work again. Peter tells Rachel the story of his ex that he ended up ending the relationship with, and he felt terrible about it. He just let her know that that day that the relationship ended and he got in his car and drove away, he felt horrible watching her disappear in the rearview mirror of his car, standing there crying. And I felt the emotion in his voice, in his body as he told that story. He really did feel badly about how that last relationship ended. And then he goes on to tell Rachel, you know, I'm not gonna play around with you. At the end of all of this, if I don't feel ready and willing to propose, I'm not going to. Peter is not playing any games. He is mature beyond his years, and he is the one for Rachel. Can I say that? Can I say it? Oh, I just love Peter. Oh yeah, of course he gets a rose. Did I have to say that? Yeah, of course he got a rose. Now it's finally time for the group date. Of course, the last 3 guys that did not get a one-on-one are going to have a group date with Rachel, and that is Eric, Adam, and Matt. So all 4 of them, they get on a boat and they go off to France. So that was really nice. And they're laughing and joking and having a good time on the boat. And as soon as they get over to France where they are, they sit down, have a little toast, and then Rachel takes each one of them aside to have a little one-on-one time. What Rachel and Matt talked about during their conversation, I can't tell you, because I heard nothing but Charlie Brown's teacher. That's all I heard. I didn't hear any actual words. I have no idea what Matt was talking about. He did most of the talking, and when he was done saying what he had to say, Rachel busts out crying. I don't know why. I guess just because she felt bad about what was about to happen, which was his elimination. Then Rachel and Adam sit down and have a little talk. Adam, just like Matt, a whole bunch of jibber jabber came out of his mouth. I really didn't pay too much attention because I knew what was gonna happen. I knew it. So then Rachel and Eric have a little sit down moment, and this is where Eric really lays it all out. And he tells Rachel about his very rough and difficult upbringing in Baltimore. He saw it all. He saw the drugs, he saw the gang activity. His own uncle is currently in prison on a 50-year sentence. So it was not a sweet, happy fairy tale of a childhood for Eric. So I really appreciated him putting that information out there because I understand him now a little bit more. He mentioned how he's never brought a girl home to his family. I get it. It makes sense coming from where he's come from. He mentioned that he'd never seen his parents together. And he talked about how he really enjoys helping people now as an adult because when he was a kid growing up, nobody really helped him. And I guess now he's enjoying paying it forward to others, which I love. So in true dramatic reality TV fashion, Rachel sits down at the dinner table with Eric on one side and Adam on the other, and she takes as long as possible, draws out the words as much as she can, and then she finally announces that Eric will get the 4th rose and be one of the hometown dates next week. So now we're looking forward to next week's episode with the hometowns, and the preview for the hometowns was serious. I know we're gonna see some drama with Dean's family. I saw a little clip of Rachel's mom saying that she's not having Brian's shenanigans, and his Rico Suave moves may work on Rachel, but they're not working on her. I saw Peter's mom getting a little serious, so it is going to be awesome. I can't wait for next week. Please do subscribe, give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and you guys know that I will be doing another recap next week. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.